All right, gang. So welcome to the unnamed show that we are just doing a Strange New Worlds bit of review and recap and a chat about. Um, we got Dominion Media Television Victor here. DMTVictor is here with us. I am, of course, Tiger Mike. So welcome. And obviously, it's funny because, these two episodes, the first two episodes of season 3 dropped simultaneously. And the first episode was good, but it's just like compared to the second episode, like what's the fucking point of even talking about it? Yeah, they had a Gorn problem. They solved it. Obviously, they were going to. Cool beans, moving on. Like, there's a lot of cool stuff that goes on in that episode, and this has some of the subsequent fallout or effects from that, like Ortega's getting fucking gutted and living, which is pretty outstanding. But the real exciting thing about episode 2 is the supposed return of Trelane. So, I mean, it depends on, I guess there's probably a lot of different opinions out there on that. What do you think, Victor?
Well, first off, I just wanted to start off by commenting on something you said about how this episode dropped, and then the goofy Wedding Bell Blues Trelane episode dropped immediately afterwards. It was two episodes with a completely different, like, a real tonal change, and it reminds me of season 4 of Deep Space Nine when Worf showed up, and we had that badass two episode Klingon War episode.
Warrior,
it was fucking
think,
cool,
right?
Yeah, Way of the Warrior. Yeah. That's when Worf showed up. He joined the cast, and Galron went full Klingon and decided, "Fuck it, I'm declaring war on Cardassia." And
right? No, I mean that was Changeling Martok was pushing him a lot for that.
We can get into it. We can get into the details later, but it was just it was a badass fleet battle, the likes of which we had never seen before in Star Trek. Quite literally, I've never seen a fleet battle this big. It was epic. And then the next week, we get The Visitor, a Jake Sisko introspective. It was just like, what? I wanted more. I wanted more Klingon War, but no. Now we get a Quantum Leap Jake Sisko, which was cool because it had Tony Todd, but that was about it. It was a big letdown for me at the time. Like, individually as an episode, I like it.
I just remember a great episode conceptually,
coming off of something
and execution wise. It is, however, a total sidestep from everything else that's going on around it.
Right. It's like, like, wait a minute, we're in the middle of a fucking Federation, Klingon, Cardassian Dominion war here, and let's just pause to talk about how Jake Sisko gets his love for creative writing back, or something.
Sir Arthur.
I mean, it was more to it than that, but it's a tonal, very complete 180. Yeah, it's like you did a 180 and then a complete 360.
I will say that episode is a pivotal piece of evidence for my theory that without Ben Sisko, if he had disappeared at that point, the Dominion War would never have happened. So
maybe
that is proof positive. That whole episode.
We will bounce back to that topic at a later date.
The only thing that changes in the
sure.
timeline is the disappearance of Ben Sisko. So anyway, but
Sir Arthur.
This episode is the what is it called? Wedding Bell
Blues.
Wedding Bell Blues is definitely that kind of, like, it's not quite as deep of a sidestep because everything that happens in that episode doesn't actually happen. Except for Jake remembering it. Jake remembers that experience. That no, Sisko, Ben, is the only one who remembers his periodic. Yeah, that's the only remembering from that little time loop. This is actually a 3 month later, so that they can, brush past all the trauma that everybody experienced and kind of
from getting gorned. They were getting gorned inside, outside, sideways. They were getting gorned every possible way you could. But yeah, so Wedding Bell Blues, I not until you just mentioned it did I put 2 and 2 together that so you're saying that Trelane is actually Q Jr.?
Okay, so first of all, we have to make a few really important points here. One, Trelane is not visible as himself at any point in the episode. We, the audience, see him as Rhys
Right.
Darby. Everybody else sees at first a Vulcan bartender.
Yeah, he's an Andorian,
and the
then
Andorian
he's
wedding
a
planner.
Vulcan at one point. So
At the end of the episode, one of the key giveaways that this is not the Q is that the father comes in and is some sort of intangible energy bubble, right? It has John Delancey's voice, but that doesn't mean that it's Q, right? So because he's not representing himself in any way that we have seen the Q do before, and they don't even need to represent himself. Q can speak without being visibly present, right?
He doesn't need to be corporeal. We have never seen Q take the form of the little blue mini comets.
Right. And that's what, for lack of a better name, Trelane, that's what he also became as he drifted away. So we have to separate these guys from being Q. As much fun as that theory would be, as much as I would love for Trelane to be Q's son from Voyager in there going around and exploring the universe and all that, and then Q getting bored and ditching his son on some planet and restricting his powers to some machine-based kind of operation, which is what we see in the original series with the Trelane episode.
With Trelane, right.
Yeah, the Squire of Gothos episode. And so there is, however, the theory that this could be Trelane, a future Trelane who has traveled into the past. So a Trelane after the point of the experiences of Kirk and the Enterprise in the original series that has traveled into the past to interact with most of that crew again, because he got bored. But anyway, it's just like...
Well, the counterpoint to that is that yesterday on IMDb, Rhys Darby's credit in this episode was titled Q Jr., quite literally, Q Jr.
Really?
And I just double-checked just now, and someone seems to have updated it to Rhys Darby's credited as wedding planner. So I think what we need to do is go back and watch the episode and hit pause on the outro credits to see exactly what he is listed at. And John Delancey's credited as alien voice. So there is quite a bit of see, it seems like there's some
I'm not going to take
fan
IMDb
theories and controversy going,
because I'm pretty sure IMDb is a wiki generated site, right? So you can edit those pages and then they will be updated as correct information is brought forward and comparable. So
I honestly I'm not sure how
I
IMDb
could be wrong.
works.
Please correct us in the comments because we know you're going to. But anyway, I'm not going to take IMDb. IMDb is like a TMZ to me. You know what I mean? Like, yeah, they got a lot of really good information, but some of it can be updated and corrected, or sometimes misleading. Credits I put in for specific reasons. So I'm going to go ahead and say somebody at IMDb or with that access probably did that and then corrected. That's just my assumption.
Because as I was watching it, I looked up the actor Rhys Darby to see where I'd seen him from, and and it popped up there at the little bottom. It was like, you may know him from Strange New Worlds, Q Jr. So I was like, oh, okay.
That's funny.
So I'm going to go back and take a look at it. So in the meantime, and also I need to get busy on drafting up or tallying up the scores for the Fantasy League. I apologize to everyone out there who's been waiting on me. I'm going to try to do better in the next coming weeks, although I am going to be at Star Trek Las Vegas. So
just crunch the numbers before you go, and then if you show me how to do it, I can help you get some tallies because I'm going to watch these things anyway.
That'd be great.
I will say, if you don't know much about Rhys Darby, I don't know when his acting career began, but I know that Flight of the Conchords, he's the manager of Flight of the Conchords, and it's absolutely hilarious. More recently, the HBO series Our Flag Means Death, which is absolutely phenomenal. And if you haven't seen it, I highly recommend it. It is absolutely hysterical, and it is a wonderful story. and Taika Waititi both produced, wrote, and starred in, and probably directed that entire series. So just phenomenal series. Rhys Darby, just the fact when I saw he was going to be in this episode, before I even knew it was Trelane or anything like that, I was just like, oh my fucking God, I am so excited for this. Rhys Darby is always hilarious, and not always hilarious. He's had some very serious scenes that he does carry very well. But his presence is so energetic and so much fun.
Absolutely.
So having him in this episode, and as a Trelane, even if it isn't Trelane, it's a Trelane type, he fucking nails it. He does. They could have written Squire of Gothos with him in mind, for all we know. You know, he wasn't even born yet, probably, but like he would have done an excellent job as Trelane in that episode, and he did an excellent job in this episode of just being that childish presence with a shit ton of power that he can use over mortal men. So how many Squires would you give this episode?
So I give it a 7 just because of the timing. I feel like coming right off the heels of the Gorn episode, we get another Spock Chapel love triangle thing going on, which, by the way, I've been meaning to finish looking up Roger Corby, because he was mentioned in the original series, and I forgot what circumstances, but yeah, that's why Chapel is going off to meet this dude. It's because in TOS they ended up being married or ex-wife, I don't know.
They were married.
I'm gonna go double check.
I'm not sure if she's presently married to him in the original series. I feel like might be for a while.
There was a YouTube clip that came across my feed from Mr. Grin. I think it's Mr. Grin or Major Grin. But he's got his profile pic is Dr. Phlox with Galron eyes. It's fucking terrifying. But and he puts together all these clips, just nitpicking the fuck out of Star Trek canon and timelines, and continuity errors and shit. And you know what? That doesn't necessarily mean he's hating on the show. Right. It's just it's what we do as sci-fi nerds. Like, we pick the fuck out of we pick apart the fuck out of the fucking pick. We analyze shit. So,
and I mean, it's so funny because like I started doing a lot of that back in the day, and then once I really realized that, like, dude, Gene Roddenberry did not care about continuity. It makes it impossible, right?
I do believe it was Arthur Conan Doyle.
Yeah.
Okay. Sir Arthur Conan Doyle, I believe it was him who was had the famous quote of saying that continuity is secondary to a great story or something, or your readers won't care. Something along those lines. Well, he did not live in the age of the internet.
This is true, but neither did Gene Roddenberry.
He could not get real-time feedback from his listeners saying, wait a minute, Watson, you said Watson was from Afghanistan, but here clearly he's from Canada in the story or some shit like that.
You're doing a great chat right now. I don't know if you've seen chat, but you're doing a great chat.
That's what they do.
Lady. But all right, so... But that is one of the reasons why I'm going to give this episode a 9 Squires.
Okay.
Because
9 Squires.
First of all, Star Trek has always been able to just, fuck it, we're going to throw in a silly episode. This episode's going to be silly,
like that.
Right?
I do like that. Yeah.
So, and in every iteration of the series, except maybe Discovery, which tried, you could throw in a couple examples I could think of that maybe are close, but they never quite nailed that comedic factor.
Sir Arthur,
pretty much every other series has had silly episodes going through it, and it's just like Deep Space Nine or any other series to have a really serious episode followed by, okay guys, let's take a breather. Remember that it's not always that serious, and sometimes we just want to have fun with these characters and say something a little less poignant.
With TNG, it would be any Luoxana Troy episode.
Yeah, that would be a great example. And then, of course, Deep Space Nine just used her so well in a serious way.
Oh, yeah.
But that's beside the point. But anyway, this episode, I really, once I was like, oh shit, that's Trelane, now things start to make more sense. But then it was, okay, well, is this in Spock's mind? Or is this actually happening in real time with real people? Or is he in some sort of Q-universe where the things that he's doing aren't going to matter and he's just in some fantasy land? And I really do like how they ended up doing it, where it's like, dude, we are all like, and then the doctor is just like, dude, this is not right. And then Spock having his emotional outburst that brings him back to reality, I just thought was a really fucking hilarious piece, where he's just laying there in the bed and the doctor springs up and he's just like, oh, you're awake. Like, okay, hey, I'm really sorry for punching you.
Nice.
It just really gave, you know, and there were a few episodes last season where they had the Lower Decks crossover, and then they had the musical episode, which were definitely really, they lacked that seriousness. And I thought that was, this was in turn with those episodes, which fits the Strange New Worlds dynamic. They did the Fantasyland episode in the first season, which it was all right. But like, it did kind of take them out of that serious fashion. Every season, they're going to do that a few times. All right, gang. Well, that is going to do it for our Squire Gothos sequel.
Sir Arthur.
From Strange New Worlds.
I'll get back to you on that. I'm going to go
Wedding
do some
Bell
sleuthing.
Blues is the name of the episode. All right, gang. We will see you next time here at the Tiger Funk DMTV crossover studio.
Yeah.